everyone. My name is Nicholas Lamar Suter, and this is Overtime. We are covering two fires that have broken out in California, but we are expecting a great deal more before the end of the day or before the end of the next 24 hours. We knew there were going to be fires today. We knew for any number of reasons. The Santa Ana winds were going to be at essentially record highs. They were predicted to be between 50 and 100 mile per hour gusts. This in an area that is already almost at record drought conditions. Everything there has been very dry. The Santa Ana winds, for those of you who don't know what they are, it's an interesting phenomenon. I grew up in New England. Every time you get hit by a breeze, the breeze is colder. It makes you colder, and you feel the chill. And if you're too hot, it's a nice, cool breeze. That's been my experience my entire life until I moved to San Diego and experienced the Santa Ana winds, where you get hit with the wind and it's warmer than the air. It's actually warming you up. You feel like you're being cooked in an oven. These are the Santa Ana winds that come in off the desert. They're hotter than the ambient air. And if there's a fire, these winds, which can usually already move reasonably quickly, can not only feed the fire with heat, but cause the fire to blow in towards populated areas. The Santa Ana winds at this point are at record speeds. They have the highest recorded that I've heard is 80 miles per hour gusts, but we've been told that it could hit as high as 100 miles per hour gusts. In the next 12 hours, they're expecting the winds to die down in the late morning, just before noon in California. In the meantime, it has wreaked absolute havoc. Now, these winds are so strong that they can take embers literally for 2 miles. When you have winds like this, one ember just caught up in the wind, start a fire 2 miles away. Right now, in the Pacific Palisades area, they were given a evacuation warning, a recommendation to evacuate, and in 9 minutes, that went from a warning to a mandatory evacuation. There is a massive fire in Santa Monica. The fire has also spread to Malibu. And let's see, so we've got the Palisades, Santa Monica, and Malibu. It is going down Palisades Avenue, which intersects with Sunset. Sunset Boulevard is sort of considered what goes down the main area in Los Angeles. Central downtown Los Angeles has not yet been hit, but at this point they are predicting that it is a significant possibility that the fire will get to central Los Angeles. Central Los Angeles is, of course, the hub of Hollywood, which is the United States' second biggest import. It is not to be underestimated. We all like to make fun of the glitz and the glamour. The SAG Awards, which is also often known as the Oscars, the nominees were to be released tomorrow, on the East Coast today. On Wednesday, in person, they have now decided that they will be releasing those online or by email. There is a possibility that Los Angeles will not exist by the time they get to the point of releasing them. We don't know what that possibility is. Governor Newsom has said that over 1,000 acres has burned. According to the Los Angeles Fire Watch Service, he is wrong. It's well over 2,000 acres burned. Over 200,000 homes are without fire. And the other problem is, in a lot of these areas, the only way out is a single road. So we have a good deal of footage of fire trucks and tractors literally going down and overturning and pushing aside cars to try to open up the roads. The cars are being abandoned because the fire is literally overtaking them. At this point, the fire is moving at the pace of roughly 5 football fields every minute. Zandring, you did the math on that. What roughly how much is that?
Well, I mean, depends upon whether they're including the end zones, but that's like 500 yards a minute.
All right, so that's faster than anyone can run. These fires are moving unbelievably quickly, and they are headed towards downtown Los Angeles. At this point, one of the reasons we took a little while going live is because we were trying to figure out what is the evacuation plan and orders for downtown Los Angeles. We don't know. There's really, again, for downtown Los Angeles, only one major road out. You know, the traffic is legendary there, and that's under the best of circumstances. So downtown Los Angeles is mostly going to be businesses. Hopefully there isn't a whole heck of a lot to evacuate there. We do know a lot of areas. In fact, I think it's the Pacific Palisades High School. Is most of us would actually recognize it if we've seen it. It's been in a number of movies. It was in Carrie, Teen Wolf, a few others. It's sort of one of the common high schools in the area that they use when they need a high school. They just go to the Palisades High School. That has been burned down, as far as we understand. A number of actors have, James Wood tweeted a shot of bushes on in front of his home on fire. We are going to show you some footage now. The first piece of footage we're going to show you is truly remarkable. It is actually from it's KTLA, their local Channel 5. One of their teams is discussing the blocked cars when the fire begins to overtake the team, and they decide to evacuate. The team does get out safely, but you can see that the cameraman does underestimate the speed at which this fire is coming. So let's go see this. My suspicion is the audio is set up and should work. If it doesn't, let me know and we can try it again.
Because people are ditching their cars here on Palisades Drive and Sunset because they couldn't get down to BCH. Okay, we're going to have to be careful because this fire is moving very quickly.
Gene,
we're going to try to move back.
We're going to let you go.
We're going to get out of here.
I think you guys are in a situation where,
we got to go.
Okay.
Yeah, that's too. It's amazing somebody would just ditch their car right in the middle of the road. At least.
Yeah, but now that's what's blocking.
Pull it over to the.
I can feel it's so close. We're going to be safe, but there's flying embers.
All right, and then let's see. Oh, are we still? Yeah. All right. Put that down. That and a couple of other videos are on our breaking news section of our Discord. If you want to go check out the Discord, we've also got a couple of other videos. So let's see here. I'm going to try. Always something.
Aaron, we just drove up into the hills of Pacific Palisades where, as you say, these fires are pretty much out of control. The issue here, the wind, you can see the wind whipping that smoke, and those embers, you see the embers on the air? The wind can take those embers a mile, 2 miles, and they can set another spot fire. That's what they're dealing with. The other issue around here, this is like a hilly community. The roads are very narrow. So when people were told to evacuate, it was very difficult to evacuate. Some people tried and couldn't. There were huge traffic jams. People were abandoning their cars, going on foot. Now, we also saw LA Fire Department bulldozers just moving those cars out the way, pushing them out the way, so engines like this can come in here to try to fight these fires. Now, the other, Chris, look at this. I mean, this house, I was here 6 minutes ago. This house was pristine. Look at it now. These houses behind me have been burning for some time now. So the strange thing about these fires is they're kind of predictable. We knew that this Santa Ana wind event, these hot, whipping, gusting winds were going to be coming. So fire departments were pre-positioned, ready. We knew it was happening. This morning I was down on the beach about 8 a.m. The wind was just beginning to pick up. 10:30, this fire ignited. Now 1,200 plus acres. Erin?
I mean, the speed, the ferocity.
I'm going to pause this for a minute just to remind everyone. The governor has said it's a 1,000 or 1,200 plus acres, but we believe at this point from other sources. I don't know why he's saying that, but his own the Fire Watch, LA Fire Watch, says it's over 2,400. The other thing that they may or may not mention, one additional problem is the winds are now at this point so bad that they can't fight this from the air. It presents safety issues for airplanes that would normally, airplanes and helicopters that would drop water. B, it presents a second problem, which is as they drop the water doesn't go straight down. It gets caught into the wind, it gets completely dispersed and is ineffective. So Newsom is being criticized for having ground all of the air firefighting forces, and he literally said, and I think he's also being criticized for somewhat being condescending here. He said the only reason to send them would be to make people feel better. It might make you feel better to see planes going overhead dropping water. The water isn't going to do anything. So at this point, they've given up, at least for now, on fighting this from the air. Let's continue the video.
With which it has spread, Nick, is really hard to comprehend. So talk to me about where you are. You're talking about narrow roads coming up. I mean, has everyone left? I mean, because even the proximity with which you are standing to that fire, I can hear it. It's almost, it's like a fireplace. I can hear it crackling.
Well, listen, this is the great thing about California, and the terrible thing about California is reporters, we are allowed as close to these fires as we feel is safe. So we, of course, have parked up the road facing down, so if we need to get out, we can. But listen, there is danger here. There is no question. These winds are just moving right now, 50-mile-an-hour gusts maybe, and the wind is not at its peak. It is going to peak in the early hours of tomorrow morning. So we are very far from the end of this. This is only going to get worse. There are a few hundred firefighters here now trying to contain this, but it's a very difficult job. I've seen people up there, other firefighters, very, very rich homes up here, very, very expensive homes. I saw one under construction, multi-million-dollar house, just gone, just on the next road up there. So most of the people are out. That is, of course, the first priority. 30,000 people under mandatory evacuation orders. That is the first priority, to save lives. Second priority is to save property, and that is proving very, very difficult here right now, Aaron.
Yeah, they're allowed to get as close as, and we saw the other crew that had to evacuate. We've also got here now, this is a CNN crew that got a little close and was able to evacuate. Let's see this video here.
There were flames on both sides of the highway. There were embers flying over the lanes of the highway. So as we're driving behind this emergency vehicle, I'm hearing an explosion on my right. There are houses on fire right up against the road on the left. And so at this point, I'm just holding my breath, and I can feel the heat from inside the car, just watching the embers fly across the windshield. We get put on a lot of kind of risky assignments, and in this situation we had to make a calculated risk for the best way to leave, and thankfully we got out of there and we got a real look at of risky assignments, and in this situation we had to make a calculated risk for the best way to leave. And thankfully we got out of there and we got a real look at just the level of destruction and really the fear that a lot of those residents might be feeling if they're looking at those images on the news, if they've evacuated. I can't imagine. They're wondering if their house is the next one on fire, if they have anything to go home to.
And then we'll do one more that should give us a pretty good look of the fires coming in over the hills, as Andrew had mentioned, how they off stream. Sorry, this happened before we started. Yeah.
Yeah, that camera angle that you were looking at,
yeah.
It looks like that's right up near where the Hollywood sign is. It's just north and just west of downtown Los Angeles. And then of course Palisades is directly west of Los Angeles.
And which is where the fire is at this point headed. The Santa Ana winds are blowing it in that direction. That's why I mean, yeah. Looking at whether or not we were going to go live with this, I mean, it was already going to be a big fire, but as we watched the possibility for catastrophic damage, and someone said in the live chat, this does happen to some degree in California every year. There's a cost to living wherever you live, where I live. It's getting a blizzard and getting snowed in, sometimes without power for a couple of days, and not being able to leave your house because there's 6 feet of snow blocking the door. But every place has its problems. California, it's the fires. At this point, this is looking like it's got the possibility of being one of the worst and most catastrophic, especially if it does, in fact, take downtown LA, which again, we don't know how to ballpark. Nobody's given us any estimates that we can use, except that they've said there is now a distinct possibility that downtown LA will get hit. So with that in mind, let's go take a look at our final video.
There have been people trying to evacuate from down the hill, and unfortunately in this neighborhood, that is the only way out. So there are a lot of people stuck in gridlock down PCH right now along the ocean. It is also very difficult to breathe. We are seeing ash fall and a lot of particles in the air. We're seeing people dragging their suitcases, coming down the hill with their pets, trying to figure out what to do because this all happened so fast.
I'm okay. I have enough for tonight. I got my phone. I have my parents' wedding rings. I have, enough clothing for tonight. I got food and water. I mean, when it comes down to it, that's what you really need.
I'll pause it for a second and say two quick things. First of all, you can hear the wind in the interview, and it's the wind that's really driving this. And again, the wind is, since it's coming from the desert, the wind is hotter than the ambient air around them. That's part of what's driving this. Ali made a correction, and I appreciate the correction. It's been a very long time since I've been anywhere near the Los Angeles area. It was my understanding that there was one main road, Route 1, in and out of Los Angeles. And that was my understanding, and I'd read something else that seemed to suggest that. Ali has far more experience that with me, and has said that there's a number of other roads out. So that is good. Again, we've seen a lot of photos of the fire department just having to ram vehicles out of the way because people had to evacuate their cars, and just the roads are completely just blocked in with cars. So I would like to thank Ali for that. If she's still in the live chat, not sure, but thank you for that correction.
I think what you're looking at for the issues, because Palisades area is down there by Malibu and Santa Monica, is right on the ocean, which is actually west of Los Angeles. Getting in and out of Los Angeles, there's the 101 freeway, there's 5, there's 405, there's 10, there's 710. There's a whole bunch of freeways that run through Los Angeles area. But if you get over into Malibu, there really is only kind of one main road, and that's Highway 1, and it's closed right now. Santa Monica Highway 1 is closed. So if you're anywhere in that Palisades area, you're sucking right now.
That's probably where I got the confusion from too, because I was reading specifically the Malibu region, and there's a difference, of course, between LA County and LA, the city, and downtown LA, all of which are really three different things. So Malibu is part of LA County, is my understanding, and I think I had confused the assessment of Malibu County, which they did say the only way in and out was Route 1. And it was, in fact, shut down and just completely, even if it wasn't shut down, there'd be no way to get on it because all the cars that have been abandoned on it. So thank you, Xander. I keep forgetting you're going to know all of these roads like the back of your hand. So very glad you're here. Anything else before I continue the clip?
No, go ahead.
I mean, when we were running down, you could see palm trees, just like random palm trees on fire. So I'm sure leaves are burning and falling down, and it's literally apocalyptic.
I see it's coming over Lockman now. Oh man. Light fire.
And again, the ones that you saw during the day was earlier. So the winds have been getting worse. The winds are expected to continue to get worse. My understanding is right now the winds are topping out at gusts to roughly 60 miles per hour, occasionally to 80. And we've been told that they can expect before this is through topping out at about 100 miles per hour for wind gusts. You could hear the wind as they're so you're trying to fight a fire as the wind is literally blowing it in your direction. As I said earlier, for those of you just joining us, all of the air firefighting crews are grounded. The wind is making it too dangerous, and even if it wasn't a problem, the wind is making it so that any water that they drop is dissipating before it can hit the fire. So it looks like as of this moment there isn't much of a way to fight it, and everybody is just trying to get out of the way. Like I said, in the Palisades, they issued a warning, an evacuation warning, and then 9 minutes later issued an evacuation order. That is how quickly it is moving, and they have said the Palisades fire again, 5 football fields a minute. That's fast. So I've got one or two things I want to do before we do sort of a final rundown and talk about what we're expecting to see for the rest of the day or night, depending on where you are. But before that, Xander, any thoughts?
Looking at where it's all of this is west of downtown Los Angeles with the direction of the wind. One of the other issues with the wind is because it's coming off the desert, it's significantly drier. So it's pushing all of the humidity and moisture off the ocean away, and it dries things out in the process. So not only is it a lot warmer, it's a lot drier, and it sucks moisture out of things really fast. So it dries things out as well as pushing the fire in front of it. So that's what makes them particularly dangerous. Also, why they know ahead of time that about these dangers. They're expecting these things to happen because this has been going on for quite a long time.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about that. And that was the interesting part where it was just like, he said, well, they've been in position since 10:30 today, this morning. And it's just like they know the fire is going to come from somewhere. There's too many houses. There's going to be a fire. And then the question is, how do they deal with it? And again, it's the winds are so bad. If it starts gusting 80 or 100, imagine what that does to the embers. Embers start to break off the tree. How far you think that ember can go in 80 mile per hour gusts? We're going to be keeping an eye on this on the breaking news section of our Discord. Come join our Discord. For those of you who don't know how this works, we follow stories. We'll do a rundown here. We will update it as needed if there's significant developments. But at this point, Governor Newsom has admitted that downtown Los Angeles, which is the hub of Hollywood, that's where every major motion picture studio works out of is in danger. It is possible that it will be burned before this is through. At a minimum, right now, they're looking at the Palisades, Malibu, and Santa Monica. Significant fires in all of those areas. Mandatory evacuations of over now 30,000 people and more than 200,000 homes without power. Again, we are expecting the winds to increase, the fires to get worse until early tomorrow morning Pacific time. So right now it's midnight Pacific time, so they're in for at least another 8 hours of this worsening, of the heat worsening, the winds worsening, and then at that point the winds should die down, and I think they will have a much better idea of how they will be able to fight these fires and put them out. They've dealt with very large fires, even larger fires than this before, but they've never dealt with this kind of wind, this level of dryness, and I don't think it's ever been in this proximity to downtown and central LA before. So these are all kind of new things. We are looking to have Mercado on our show. We've been speaking with him and would love to have him on in time, so we're hoping maybe next week. He is covering this right now. He is covering it live. So if you would like to see more footage of it, you can again find it on our Discord. You can also go see and talk with him and his live chat. We will be redirecting our audience over there. For those of you who are interested, do say hi to him for me. The rest of you get some sleep, and if you're anywhere near this area, this is different. This is, unfortunately, this is climate change, and they knew that this was going to cause things, but it's about as dry as it's ever been, and the winds are faster and hotter than they've ever been. This, I'm hoping, works out okay, but has the potential to be an absolute catastrophe, and we're not going to know until, we're not even going to have an idea until daybreak in California. So thank you all for joining us. Please do like and subscribe. That helps. And again, you can see us on our Discord. Is Andrew, any final thoughts before we go?
The one little ray of hope is that this fire has a long ways to go to get to downtown, and it's going to be fighting wind directions. So I wouldn't expect it to hit downtown LA, but and Hollywood is just north of downtown LA between Glendale and Los Angeles. So that area has got a lot more wooded. Once you get down into Los Angeles, you take a lot of the green space away. That place is very heavily built up, but there are lots of wooden structures in the area, but at least it's not in the direct path. It could still get a glancing blow, or something could shift. But right now it looks like it's racing down the coastline right now.
And the wind is headed in the opposite direction.
The wind is, from what I can see of the wind map, it looks like the wind's heading almost in a southerly direction.
All right. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you, Bregwin brought this one in and has been in the live chat. And I don't know if Bregwin ever sleeps. Most of us on In Time don't. It's not my fault. Titan beats those of us who try to sleep just regularly. If he slept, I could get some sleep. But Xandering, thank you for joining us. Bregwin, thank you very much. I'm sure Bregwin and others will be dropping it in the Discord as we know more. And again, if there's a significant update, we will come back and inform you. Thank you all for joining us. We will be redirecting you to Mercado, who is covering this live, and I think is going to stay on it for a little while for those of you who are interested. Otherwise, this has been The Rundown, and we look forward to seeing you maybe with Mercado next week, and a downtime Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern, with Commander Lance McMillan. Good night.